Hey guys, thanks for joining. I unplanned stream. Any actions? Not really. I had a issue with my image again. Both nights that I decided to live stream, I was having issues, but that should be fixed. The moon will be coming up, but it's really. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Yeah, it's really cool that the Milky Way is appearing before the moon starts to show up and ruin the day. Yeah, I'm back at it. This is going to be a short live stream because it's a Wednesday night and I have work in the morning. So I think maybe half an hour or 40 minutes at most. We'll get some subs of the Elephant's Trunk Nebula, taking 10-minute subs. And if you're curious, let me show you what the first sub looked like. So I had to restart. Yeah, if you're here on the stream on Saturday, I had the exact same thing. So I ended up looking at my old subs, and I've only had this issue when I live stream. Super strange. I wonder if I need a new mini PC there. Oh, cool. Where are you located, Image X? I think you may have told me at some point, but I don't remember. Ah! Hey, Paul. Yep, clear as it gets here, minus the headlights here and the moon. Welcome to Bortle 15. Yeah, it is odd. I don't know why. It's definitely like a data connection issue because reconnecting the camera fixes it. So we'll see what happens with the first sub. Oh, cool. St. Louis. Nice. There was a night here, but with the moon and Beverly smoke winds, it wasn't worth driving out. Bortle 15, because we're about to see the moon. Hold on, let me bring up the live stream camera from the observatory where you can see the moon. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so this is the DVO channel. You see that thing? That's the moon. It's about to brighten up the entire sky. That's why I'm calling it Bortle 15. It's not really Bortle 15. It's just a joke. Thanks, Paul. No, not a typo. It's just it's just the moon is the worst source of light pollution in the sky. Like no matter where you go on this planet, the moon is going to ruin your night, especially when it's full. Quarter moon is fine, it either rises late or sets early, but the full moon is just super annoying. Hey, I am the person who have a I do have a NAS setup, not only because it rhymes with my name, but my main one right now is 42 terabytes. And let me show you. It's my NAS. So 42 terabytes. I have 29 free. I had another small one for that I ran off a Raspberry Pi for a while. That one I had about 24 terabytes on there. I want to bring that back up, but I don't want to move those files over because I don't want to lose all this free space, but I have one. And I don't think it'll be enough. It is worth a lot of money now. I know. I wish I bought more drives when I built this thing. It was about $200 per disk. It's they're hard drives. They're not solid SSDs. They're HDDs. They're enterprise drives. I'm trying to remember the name. Blanking on it. They're Western Digital. I don't know. They're Seagates. Seagates. I say that my brain really stops working after 12:30 a.m. Um, I'll get it for you. Hold on. Yeah, Seagate Exos drives. I'll show you exactly which drives I got. These are refurbished drives from server parts deals, so it's not like I paid a ton of money for it. Let me bring it over here. Yeah, so I bought it here a long time ago. There are 5 drives in there, 16 terabytes each. Let me see, 16. Or is it 14 terabytes? I don't know. I don't even remember. Oh my god, they're $399 now. Oh man, I should have bought more. I bought them for $199 each. Your Extreme Pro you bought for 120 is now 600. Yeah, it's insane. Refurbished was $200. Yeah, it was actually pretty cheap. Per terabyte, I think it was only $8 per terabyte because there were 16 terabyte drives, and there were 16 terabyte enterprise drives, so they are well built. They're meant to last a long time, and they're meant to stay on forever. And I'll say them they actually were not refurbished; they were recertified, which means that Seagate is what did the refurbishing, whereas refurbished is usually means that the store fixed it up. We're about to get our first sub in about a minute, and then I'll see if my issue is fixed. Hey Benji, hard drives in this economy. I know I bought it in the last economy. I'm not buying anything in this economy. In today's economy. How did I make my intro graphic? Um, which intro graphic? Do I have an intro graphic? I don't think I. You have a Nav's Xeon CPU and a dusty shell in the garage. Yeah, I mean, if it works. On Discord, it shows a title. Oh, you're talking about the thumbnail? It was on. Oh, it was from Adobe. Um, what's it called? Hold on. Adobe Express. So the background is actually a stock photo from the Southwest. It's from Adobe Stock. One second. Okay, yeah, it's from Adobe Stock, and then it's just basic text. Nothing special. The telescope picture is from my backyard. I just removed the background, and the text is just pretty basic text. All right, my S2. Do my stars look okay? Yay, okay, stars look better. Okay, no clipping. 3 pixels are clipped. Compared to my last image, which looked like this, and it clipped the 6,200 pixels. So yeah, something weird, which just means that I have to keep paying attention to this. I might have to ask the staff at DVO to switch up my USB cable. It could be a failing USB cable. I have no idea, honestly. Holy Bortle 15. Yeah, it's because of the moon. Where'd the moon go? Yeah, there's the moon. Look at that bright thing. These it's making these telescopes look like they don't have bodies. It just doesn't want to make you scream. It's actually pretty nice headless telescope. Do I still have? Hold on, I missed a question. Benji, your main PC has 128 gigs of RAM and your server has 64. Oh, nice. I have 64 on my current desktop. I wish I bought more. Just like always. Astro Jeff, you have 64 gigs of RAM. Legally got to just before. I did the exact same thing, and I wish I got more. And I built this PC in uh, December 2024. Do I still have Halo issues? I do, but I don't think any of these stars are bright enough actually to cause halos. So it's not. I'm not gonna see any here. It only seems to be like for super bright stars. Can you see the elephant's trunk here? It's doing HA, so HA should be a little bit stronger. So in about 8 minutes, we should see elephant's trunk a little bit better. What am I imaging tonight? I am imaging the elephant's trunk nebula because that's the only thing far enough away from the moon that I can shoot in narrowband. And it's only S2 and HA. So if you look at my plan here, it's a 4-panel elephant's trunk mosaic. It's going to do 2 panels one by one. The reason it's switching here is because it's trying to avoid a meridian flip. So at 1:43 a.m., it's going to flip to panel 1 for 20 minutes and then flip back. So it'll actually save me between 5 and 15 minutes from having to wait for a meridian flip. So, and it'll switch back and then back again. My goal is to get about 24 hours across the 4 panels. When I pay for my telescope at a farm, does the price include the staff helping you with your fear and stuff? You mean gear and stuff? Yeah, the staff here has been super duper helpful. I don't know if Nicholas is still in watching, but he's one of the staff members there. Super amazing. I did a video on DVO a few days ago. I don't know if you watched it, but I'll link to it in the chat for anyone who hasn't seen it. I do recommend checking it out. Super awesome people there. I'm happy I'm there. I've only been there a little over 3 weeks. Hoping to be there for a long time. Yeah, it looks like the moon does look like the sun. Paul, you read that the Vera Rubin has halos sometimes. Stupid filters. Yeah, I know. It's the reflections. I think it's hard, and it's also Vera Rubin is also super fast, right? Was it like f1.2, f1.5, something like that? What am I cooling to? I can only get to -5. Beyond 11 p.m. I can go to -10. Paul Gatley, do you want to guess what I'm cooling to? Am I revealing it on this screen? I'm not revealing it on this screen, but I'll take guesses, and then I'll tell you what it is in a minute. You miss astrophotography? I mean, it's always time to get into astrophotography. You know, lots of good communities online. Milky Way. There you go. Hey, Nicholas is there. Yeah, just praising the team there, and they're about to open a second observatory, so I'm excited about that. I wish I could send a second scope, but um, I've spent a lot of money this year already. Off topic, but you picked the L Quad Enhance today. L Quad Enhance, is that broadband? Thanks, Imagex. I appreciate it. I get lost in my tabs. You're guessing negative 10 degrees Celsius. Anyone else want to make a guess before I show what my temperature is? So you did a thing today. You purchased yourself a set of Altair Astro HA03 and S203. That's cool. Altair makes good filters. Um, I've used Antlia before, which is also excellent. Not the LRGB. Yeah, the LRGB filters are fine. It's usually oxygen that gives you the biggest halo issues. But sometimes HA and S2 will also give you some, as evident with my gear. 3.5 nanometer filter. That's cool. I'm using 4 nanometer filters from TubeTech. Broadband Optilong. Yeah, I do remember the L Quad. I have the L Enhanced, the original HA03. I have the L in Extreme. Paul guessed 5. Do you remember this from my last video? Or from my last live stream? Because uh, Paul Davis is correct. I've cooled about 5 degrees Celsius. It's warm, but it doesn't really matter. I dither very aggressively, and although I don't usually take darks, I did take darks for this rig just cause. Why not? As it gets cooler there, maybe in September or something, I'll bring it down to like 0 degrees and negative 5 degrees. Yeah, these sensors are really awesome. I don't really worry about thermal noise too much. I just want to make sure that it doesn't work so hard that it dies. Yeah, it can get hot there, but during the day they have air conditioning within the observatory, so your gear doesn't suffer. On top of that, my rig is also fully automated, so in the morning after it's done, it actually completely shuts down and powers off, so it's not running during the day, and then it comes back online, wakes up in the evening, uh, right before sunset. Image I'll give the Optilong L Ultimate. Yeah, I hear good things about that one, the 3 nanometer wavelength. The L Ultimate is 3 nanometers. The L Enhance is, I think, 10 or 15. And L Enhance is wide. The L Ultimate is the narrow one. And L Quad being broadband makes sense. The elephant trunk should be a tough target during the full moon. Yeah, but it is pretty far from the moon, so I have moon avoidance set up in my profile. So for HA, even for HA, it's pretty aggressive. 75 degrees away for HA. For LRGB, it's 110 degrees. So those are not going to get. Actually, for luminance, it's 130 degrees. So these are not going to get imaged, but let's see what HA looks like as soon as it responds. Oh, there you go. Looks pretty good. Pretty sharp. Not clipped in either direction. Beautiful data. No halos because none of the stars here are bright enough. Good HFR and good guiding. Good guiding. 0.68. It's a little bit wonky, but it's fine. It's below my pixel scale, so I don't really care. I might have to redo a calibration or something. Something to keep an eye on for me. But it looks pretty good. I'm happy with this data. If you use an OSC there, why would you need filters? You still want filters for better contrast and finer details on the narrowband stuff, but you can get amazing data with just a OSC camera there. I know a couple of people at Starfront who use just OSC. They get really nice data. You set up last month, so hot, cool to the usual -10. Your camera kept dying. Ah, yeah, that's I've had that happen before, like in Boston with cooler temperatures. So I just tend to like not push it. Hey, Myth, cool. Put a deposit down. Sweet. Unofficial credit for me. I'm glad. Yeah, I think you'll be happy. The people there are great. Um, Astro Jeff, you bought them direct since nobody here in the US has any of them in stock. Yeah. Yeah, Altair is interesting. I usually see them at NEAF when I go there. I almost bought their S203 filter set last year, and then I didn't because I went mono, or not last, yeah, not when mono. I wanted to go mono, so I didn't end up buying those. It's nice that they have climate control. Yeah, the backyard roll off roof. I want a backyard roll off roof. Well, where are you located, Paul Gatley? Yeah, having to pay the duties is annoying. I'm actually expecting a new mount from somewhere. I'm not gonna say where yet. It's been in transit for like the last 3 weeks, going through customs. It's been annoying. I know I'm gonna have to pay some tariffs on it. Don't know how much yet. All right, Paul, you have the color magic filters. I remember those. Those are you get some really amazing results. If I didn't go mono this year, I would have definitely bought some. Followed your lead. Richo Crazy said, "What's the target?" It's the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. I see 1396, I believe. So if you look at this in the framing wizard, let it load, let it load. There you go. So this is it. Dude, redo it. Your deck was 30. It was, right? Wasn't it? Yeah. Actually, it's calming down. So no need to redo it. Look at that. Less than half arc second now. So all good now. Buying the mirror also saved you from a local markup. Yeah. 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 Let me know what your tariffs are. I'm curious. I'll the amount that's coming to me. It's definitely getting a video because I'm gonna have to try and recoup some of the money I'm gonna pay for the mount and for the tariffs through some ads. Flat Earth or bust. Oh no. I'm trying to catch up. Why is the light on? I'm assuming you mean this. I think they're doing some setup. So one of the guys there is Francisco, amazing guy. He's probably doing some setup here. This looks brighter than it actually is. He's using red light, and they normally only set up around the full moon anyway. So whatever light he has on is not brighter than the moon, which I'll bring up again. Hold on. So there you go. There's the moon. So Francisco's probably around here. I'm assuming it's Francisco. I don't know if it's him, but he's around here. He's not going to beat the moon. So it's fine. Bortle 15. Or am I observing the surface of the sun? No, I usually joke that when the full moon is out, it's Bortle 15 everywhere. Um, it's half a joke, but not really. It's so hard to image anything during the full moon. Oh, you're 60 miles from Death Valley location, but on the west side of the Sierras. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I'd love to visit there one day. Nina looks amazing. Nina is amazing. I forget who I was talking to on the Discord. I think it was Jan. Um, Nina has a very steep learning curve, but once it clicks, like automating is just super easy. Like my entire thing is automated. I've helped a handful of people at Death Valley get started with automating their rigs, so that's been exciting. Isn't it too hot to image in the location right now? What are you cooling down to? Southwestern Arizona, 10 p.m. 99 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I look at my Wanderer Astro, it is reporting 28 degrees Celsius, which is actually cooler than it's been the last week. So not bad at all. And I am cooling my camera down to 5 degrees Celsius. So I'm not doing that much, but it's using 50% cooler power. I try to stay at maximum 60 to 70% so that this doesn't work so hard. Um, I'll probably bring the temperature down September to like 0 degrees and then -5 degrees in October or something. Paul, you need to switch. Yeah, yeah. Well, if you need help, I think you know a guy who can help you get started. Zero point 0.6. No, zero point 0.6 isn't bad. This is way below my pixel scale, so I'm not too worried about it. Unless it hits like 1 arcsecond or more, I'm not gonna care about it. But Bortle 15 wasn't a typo. It's a joke. It does not exist on the Bortle scale. No. I'm looking 2,400 light years into the past. Yeah, back when. Okay, I'm not gonna make that joke. Uh, I'm gonna stop myself from making that joke. Uh, Portal 15 would be so bad. I'm going to refer back to this image of the moon. This is the moon. This is where I joke that the moon always makes it Portal 15 when it's full. You have 10 acres in a Bortle 2 location about 1 hour from your house. That's amazing. I don't think I live like I think it'll take me like 9 hours to drive to a Bortle 2 location if I were to go anywhere. I can get a Bortle 3 in about 4 or 5 hours. 5 or 6 hours, give or take. Can I go over my sequence? Yeah, so it's a little bit hard to go over it in the live stream, but I am working on a video that'll explain all of this, and I'm also working on a tool that people can use to build their own advanced sequence following my template. But I'll go over the bigger picture here in a minute. Just let me catch up to the chat. Nina has a learning curve. ECOS has a learning cliff. Funny thing is, I actually learned ECOS first, and I got really used to it. I liked it for a long time. I used it with Astroberry. It was nice. Am I trying to image the SpaceX booster impact next week? I wish I could, but we looked it up, and the moon is going to be below the horizon when it hits. So I'm not going to be able to see it from home here in Boston. I'm not going to be able to see it from Death Valley. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss it. But I'll try. Maybe it'll be okay from home. I might have to go somewhere, but we'll see. You've been using Voyager for years, and it would never change. I don't think I've ever used Voyager. Nice graphics from the Wanderer. Yeah, the Wanderer is really nice. Yeah, I did learn today that it has a really annoying firmware update feature or workflow where you have to physically open it up and press the button on the inside. I don't know how true that is because it's from two different comments, one from Discord, one from YouTube, and I don't have to do a firmware update yet, but we'll see. But it's really nice. I don't get to use it here because I don't have a dew heater there, but it has an automatic dew point temperature difference mode where the dew heater turns on if the dew point becomes a certain percentage. Right now it's 9%. I have never lived anywhere that's 9%. At home in Boston, it's like 60% all the time. Ah, ghost. Now let's help get my stream running this way. I won't go back. Cool. Hey, yes, yes. One of the people I helped. I have like almost a dozen WhatsApp chats with people. I'm actually really happy that I was able to help you because it helped me prepare for my rig because it was all before my rig was even there. Guiding and pixel scale. So the pixel scale is what I get from the camera. So it's the focal length divided by the that's not divided by a pixel scale is your pixel size and how it fits into the focal length. For this, I think it's 1.5 arc seconds. So if my guiding is below 1.5 arc seconds, my stars are going to still look circular. If it ever goes above 1.5 arc seconds, they'll start to look elongated. There's more to it than that. I'm oversimplifying. Back at the aliens, the pyramids. Did the pyramids exist 2,400 years ago? I thought it was more like 4,000 years ago. That's your scope at the top of this frame. This one or this one? I didn't realize we were neighbors. I still haven't had a chance to get out there because I haven't been able to get down to see around Peoria. Yeah, that's cool. I want to visit there one day. 1 hour 20 minutes to 2. Is that your setup time, Paul? How long for an exposure of an image or enough data to build an image? Multi-light spectrum, I presume. Um, it's a monochrome filter, so I'm doing 10-minute exposure, so 600 seconds. This is what I do for monochrome filters. These are 4 nanometers. For broadband RGB, I use 3 minutes, and for luminance, I use 2 minutes. Hey, hey, from MA from Springfield. Hey, neighbor. I might be in the Springfield area this weekend. Unsure. Patriot Astro has some really good advanced sequencer templates. Yeah, he was a huge help early on when I was trying to learn Nina. It's like one of those things. Like he definitely helped me click, or have Nina click in my brain, like how things work. Um, I still point people to his channel, like if you want to get started with Nina. So what I want to do with my Nina videos is not recreate what he did, but try and build on what he did and show you what I do, which I think could be a little bit more advanced because I build these for remote observatories. Not visible in Boston, or that doesn't seem right. It's like 40 degrees elevation in DC. It's at 2:30 a.m. Eastern. Is it at 2:30 a.m.? I thought it was earlier. 2:30 a.m. Maybe. Yeah. Magic. I think you may be right. So it was gonna be at 10:30 at Death Valley. So I may be messing up my time zone. So you may be right. It could be visible from Boston. So I am going to, if it's clear, I'm definitely gonna try. Your regular shooting location just got downgraded from B3 to B4. Yeah. Light pollution is getting worse. Heard NASA wants to send cockroaches to Mars. Oh my god, they will survive and thrive. The Edge HD. Well, I will look once this once this light disappears. You would have a ton of visibility just 2 hours away. Yeah, I usually when I need to shoot something in the western horizon, I go to the Wachusett Reservoir. It's a really nice spot. Like when I'm on the east side, when I need to shoot anything in the when it's rising in the east, I'll go to the beach, like on in Everett or Revere. Info for Richo. 10-minute exposure, basically. Yeah, this is I've been doing 10 minutes for a while. I'll do 5 minutes. 5 minutes is usually my default. Edge HD. Oh no, I don't know. I think a cable got moved in front of the camera at some point. It's okay. Oh, this Edge HD. Nice. Sweet. I would like to have a SCT out there at some point when Galaxy season comes around. How long it takes to get to Bortle too? I think I have to go to like northern Maine, which is easy 6-7 hour drive, if not more. Probably like 12 hours if I take the toddler. What's dumb is the firmware update. Yeah, I agree, Paul. Ooh, lobster claw and bubble nebula is great. Ooh, Chicopee, nice. Hey Pluto, welcome to the stream, the first one. I'm hoping to do more. And Death Valley has made it a little bit easier for me to do, so I'm looking forward to doing more. You don't know the Death Valley altitude? It is. I can tell you, it's Death Valley altitude because Francisco nicely set this up for me. I thought it was here. I thought it was a little. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Is Nicholas still on there? What's the elevation of Death Valley? It might actually be on the website. I think. Yeah, I'll look it up in a minute. I don't think it's not in the Sierras. It's in I think it's pronounced Amargosa Valley. It's in Nevada. Because I think Sierras is in California, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You have no dew on your 4-inch ASCAR V or your RC10. Oh, man, I don't know life without dew. Wow, Pope asked for 3 to 4 hours from Bortle 1. I am jealous. I am forever away from Bortle 1. Star exploded. Yeah, Astro Jeff feels my pain. Like you have to drive so much to go to dark skies. Bortle 7. I think I'm Bortle 8 technically here, right in the outskirts of Boston. Hey, Paul. Thank you. Good night. Thanks for joining. Always great to see you. Smash that button. Yeah, I usually don't tell people to do that, but I appreciate it. It always feels 2,600 feet. Thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, Death Valley is 2,600 feet above sea level. I think in Boston I'm like 15 feet above sea level. The only good thing to come from the full moon is doing mineral moon. Yeah, I agree. I actually tried doing imaging the moon yesterday with my rig, but this camera can't do less than 0.01 or 1,000th of a second or 1/10,000th of a second, which is still too slow. So I can't really get the moon. I'm gonna have to think about something before the eclipse at the end of April. Sorry, at the end of August, because I wanted to live stream that from Death Valley. Oh, cool, Pluto. You have your rig at Starfront. Yeah, I have this one here. I have another one at the Kagakama Remote Observatory in South Africa, and they're perfectly located because when imaging in South Africa ends, the one in Death Valley starts. So I'm basically imaging, I think, um, 16 hours a day, 15 or 16 hours a day. I need a rig in Australia so I can image 24 hours a day. And 3 hours in Tennessee. I was in Tennessee for the 2020 for the 2017 eclipse. Loved it there. We went a couple of nights early, and I enjoyed the dark skies there. You have life without dew in Arizona. I never used a dew heater as a hand warmer in December. Oh man, I have like 7 dew straps. I can't image here without a dew strap. Thanks, Smith. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. I'm also gonna. I know I said I'm gonna do the stream for like half an hour, but it's been really fun engaging with everyone. But I should probably end the stream in like 10 minutes max because I do have work in the morning and I have to do the dishes. Astro Jeff, you said you have to drive some amount of time to image since you just ghosted on Sarah's server. You don't have a backyard for me to set up in. Yeah, that was me before I moved here. This was the first place I moved right before the pandemic started, where I have a yard. Since he's the C Star S30 Pro, what you started to do and kind of like doing now is with the full moon phase that you will image the stars and make up the constellations. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Do stars. I have super aggressive moon avoidance on my rig, so even the stars only images don't actually trigger. How many observatories do you have? So I'm running 3 remote rigs now. One here, so this is it in Death Valley, and then 2 in South Africa at the Kagakama Remote Observatory. One we're fully renting. We have it until July 2027 at least. So that one is ours, full control. And then another one is an Esprit 100 that I am testing for the owners of that observatory. So I've been getting to use that for the last couple of months, collecting data. I've been tuning the PhD too. I've been getting the sequencer ready. I've been getting a bunch of stuff ready because they'll be renting it out. So I think that's going to get rented out soon. But technically, I have three now. One will be going away really soon. Washington has less than 80 clear nights, clear skies on average a year. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think in New England, it's probably around that too, maybe 100, maybe a little bit more than Washington. But getting clear skies that are around the new moon, that are smoke free, is so rare. Hey, Anna, if you want to set up a scope in Australia, a chap called Roger Groom runs a site in the Wheatbelt region of Western Australia. Ooh, I will. I'm going to Google him right now. Roger Groom. Oops. I found his website. Thank you. I mean, I want to, but I don't have unlimited money, and we're trying to move, so I need to save. But I do want something in Australia. Who doesn't? Thanks, Imagex. Great seeing you. Hope to see you in the next one. Miguel, you live on a little island. Really dark skies requires a plane ride. Ooh, that's cool. Saw that eclipse from work. They provide us. That's awesome. Yeah, I love when work does that. My work almost didn't let me go to the eclipse, even though I planned for it years in advance. You ended up imaging the comet the other day as it's just sitting around the Capricorn. Oh, nice. I haven't done that one yet. I should. The next Neil deGrasse Tyson, me, or who's there? Starfront is going to be settling up in Australia later this year. Yeah, I heard that. I got the. I'm on their Discord as well, so I got the announcement. It's interesting. I'm curious to see how they do that. I think I made a comment about scaling too quickly, so I'll stop commenting there. But I'm just going to say that the support at Death Valley has been amazing so far. Looking forward to see how that evolves with the second building. Main woodlands would be very cheap, yeah, but probably cloudy all the time. Funny thing is that we did look at like property there, like can we buy land and then develop it for cheap, but it's still so expensive. Everything in New England is so expensive. Do I work in the field or is it just a hobby? It's just a hobby. I'm a software engineer as my day job. I work full time work, full time dad, part time astrophotography. August 2nd and 5th reaches magnitude 7.8. Yeah, I might try to get it then. So yeah, yeah, it's reaching perihelion in early August. So I think you're right. I'm curious how they're going to be charging U.S. customers for a peer in Australia. Will they be in AUS rate in USD or what? Uh, Seeing that it's run by Starfront, which is an American company, I'm going to guess that they're going to charge you USD. For our rental rig in South Africa, we are getting charged USD. So when you go to their website, it's all in dollars, US dollars. That's my guess. There's the moon. Look at this telescope starting to get its body back as the moon moves away. While people are here, I'm actually going to pull up the um, one of my all Skycam automated time lapses from last week, where because people enjoyed it last time, where we saw the meteor that was in Tom Burnett's image, which has potential to become astronomy picture of the day, which is exciting. Question: since you use a C star from time to time, oh, I use a C star from time to time. If I wanted to grab a hold of a meteor shower soon, what mode would I use? Maybe the Milky Way mode, or the Milky Way time-lapse mode. That might be what. So because that'll use the wide field lens, and if you can save each frame, which I think you can now, you should be able to get a nice view of the sky. You'd love to see that. Yeah, I'm loading it. It's downloading from Death Valley. You have to set up the rigs again once it cools off. Yeah. Sorry, Francisco's doing maintenance on the setup while we have the moon. Oh no, yeah, no need to apologize, Nicholas. I understand. Like, I think I mentioned earlier that DVO only does like installations during the full moon, and nothing is being impacted. And these are 60-second exposures, by the way, from my all sky cam. So the red light looks a lot brighter than it actually is, and my subs look clean. So no complaints from me. Francisco can continue doing Francisco things. Okay, let me see if the video loaded. Oh yeah. Okie dokie. Here's the video. This is also in the Death Valley first light video I posted earlier in the chat. I'll post it again. I recommend checking that out for anyone who has questions about Death Valley observatories. In about 10 seconds, you'll see a meteor here. All right, 5 seconds. Boom. And the vapor trail. I love that. And Tom Burnett, who's another resident here at DVO, he got this in one of his subs, which is amazing. Yay. You're loving the update that allows us to do semi with satellite trails, plane trails. Yeah, they just did what is it? Rejection stacking. That's cool. Rig cooling, is it just a refrigerant or is it liquid nitrogen system? Those are too advanced. This uses a tech cooling, which is thermoelectric cooling, which is basically electronic cooling. It makes one side warmer than the other, and it pulls the heat away. I'm sure Wikipedia is going to be able to explain this a lot better than I can. How do I record my All Sky videos? It's with a software called All Sky, Skeye. So it does automated time lapses for me. I also get. Let me show you what the folder structure looks like. Nice, using the same software. It's just one of the settings there. Just look for auto video. It also does like last image. Meteor detection is super cool. Like if I look at this, I showed this before too. Like I can look through these, and it's gonna be one of these. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Let it load. There it is. Yeah, so if you have meteor detection turned on, it gives you the previous frame, the current frame, and it'll circle it like who's gonna miss that, and then the next frame. So here's where I saw the vapor trail, which is super cool. So when I saw this, I save each of the individual frames as well. So these are the JPEGs. So I'm going to go to that date. It's around like 250. Here it is. Look at that. It's like so easy to find. And then the next frame, here's the vapor trail. The next frame, you can see the vapor trail just like slowly dissipating. It's amazing. Yeah, it lasted about half an hour before it fully disappeared. I am hoping for some clear skies around the peak of the Perseids. So I'll probably, if we get clear skies, I'll probably do a live stream and just leave it on the all sky cam. I probably don't even have to talk and just leave it on all night, and people can come and enjoy it. Um, yeah, yeah, Ben, let me know. Like, feel free to pick my brain whenever. You got a pretty sweet shot from the Pixel 8 Pro from Bortle One. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, the Pixel 8 has been amazing. I've actually done a nice time lapse with my Pixel phone from Acadia. I put it in my Acadia video. Hold on, I'll link to that. So, and then I'll relink to the Death Valley video. Need to figure out how to get SPCC in the next models because now I'm trying to learn to use Serial and PixInsight, and it'd be rough out there. It is rough. Yeah, but you know where to find me, and ping me if you need help. Not the fastest at replying, but I try. You didn't notice until that morning that you had caught a decent wide field image of the edge of the Milky Way core and Andromeda. That's cool. Yeah, I love seeing Andromeda just like pop up next to the Milky Way. I'm glad to hear the scripts have been helpful. I think Niraj has been trying to run your scripts there as well, or run my scripts with your data as well. Alrighty. All right, I'm gonna give myself a 5-minute warning because I meant to do a 30-minute stream. It's been an hour so far. So 5 minutes. So if anyone has any questions, please do let me know. Huge thanks to everyone for joining. This was very engaging, very awesome. I will do more. Big shout out for Death Valley Observatories for giving me the clear skies, for being able to do this. Hopefully, last one, as soon as I left, clouds came in. So hopefully there are no clouds this time. How tall and what circumference of a wall around the equipment? So there's no wall. So they use swing diameters. Let me pull up the. I'll pull up the Death Valley Observatory's website. So it's going to be. Where's the pier diameter? Pier diameter. Here we go. Yeah. So what you measure is just a swing diameter of like what your longest swing is going to be, and that's what determines where you are and how big your pier is. And I'm on the smallest one, so 35 inches. So my Astro 91F, the reason I sent it is because it's just about exactly 35 inches. So it fit right there. As for the tallness, I don't think the tallness matters because they have a big roof. Since you're immunocompromised, I'm looking to doing some of this for the Southern Hemisphere since I can't really have my. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I have an observatory or a telescope at the Kalakama Remote Observatory, and they do sea star rentals. So if you want to check them out, I can put in a good word for you. Just let me know. You want to get back to your remote site, Alpha Scorpii. Yeah. This is mine. I don't have the brain power to manage all of these. or the money to manage all of these. Yeah, sorry if I confused you, Rich. Only this pier is mine. Yeah, all these others are other residents at Death Valley. Why am I working? It's because I have to pay for all of these telescopes. Lottery goals for sure. If I win the lottery, I'm gonna pay Death Valley to build me my own giant observatory. Yeah, collecting them like Pokemon. I do have a many few telescopes of many different kinds, of many different shapes and sizes and colors. I have been collecting for 20 years now. 24, 14 years, give or take. Yeah, that's only telescopes and then mounts and cameras, and don't forget adapters. This hobby is about 95% adapters. I can close this. I can look at the moon again. Look at this. The telescopes have bodies again. Hi, Francisco. Just look at the shadows of all the piers here. I'm gonna look at my guiding. Yeah, like 0.46 arc seconds is really nice. All right, Astro Jeff, thank you. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna sign off to in 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Yeah, at 1:45 a.m. for me, 10:45 at Death Valley. Thanks again for everyone. Thanks again for joining everyone. I'm gonna put myself on mute because otherwise I'm gonna keep talking for another hour. But I will answer questions in the chat. Just coming off mute to say thank you to Nicholas. I appreciate it. Thanks for providing an amazing facility here.